Hi. In the class today, we're going to be talking about the marketing of services. So before we move ahead, there will be an assignment at the end of our class. So please watch the whole class, and then at the end, there will be assignment. You are not going to be able to take the assignment, or if you don't watch the video. So please bear with me. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen. Okay, so let's talk about the marketing of services. Uh, the marketing of services has many things in common with the marketing of products. So the key concepts are there. What we're going to do in this video is to concentrate on their differences. Now, as you remember, services is part of the customer perceived value formula. So here you have total benefit, and the services benefit is part of that. In other words, if you want to increase the value to consumers, one way to do it is to increase the quality or the level of services you provide your customer. And sometimes the service, it is an enhancement of the product you are providing the customer. Sometimes services will be alone, they're only services. Sometimes services is an enhancement of the product benefit. Now, often they go together. Let's think about a service. Let's think about a fast food restaurant. Restaurants are mostly about the services they provide. Now, with franchises, McDonald's, the stores offer products that are pretty much standard in their quality. So what differs one McDonald's store from the other is the level of service or the quality of service they provide. Um, like, are the stores clean? Is one store cleaner than the other? Is the staff in one of the stores more pleasant than the other? So services in this type of environment, they make a difference. Although, if we're talking about the quality of the product offers within the service, then different stores, different businesses will have a different quality. So if you're talking about the quality of the burger at Five Guys versus the quality of the burger in McDonald's, yes, there is a difference. Now, let's think about products, and this is heavy machinery. If we have a product like heavy machinery, then services, they must come together with the product and are a very important part of what the product offers. So services as maintenance, warranty, repair, they're big attributes for the product. So yes, products and services, they most of the time they go together. The importance of services is services are very important for the economy. Um, in the US, almost 9 out of 10 jobs provided in the economy come from the service sector. So it is also a major source of surplus for imports and exports, the balance of exports and imports in the US. Yes, you can export services. In the case of US exports almost $250 billion more than what they import from other countries. Now let's focus on how the products differ from goods. Now, there are four ways in which the services are different from products. So first one is intangibility. The other is, secondly, inseparability, heterogeneity, and perishability. So let's talk first about intangibility. Now, intangibility is about how the services, their inability to be touched, seen, tasted, heard, or felt in the same manner that of goods. So as an example, we can talk about the medical service in which you go, you're seen by a doctor, and the service he does for you, it is not something that the service in itself, of course, the doctor will take your blood pressure. Yeah, you're touching, seen, but the service, which is caring for your health, you cannot see, feel it, or taste it. Services differ from goods in terms of making a purchase, how hard it is. So search, the quality of search, or the search quality, it can be easily assessed before purchase. This is not a problem. So you go and you look at the reviews, reputation, you look at that online, and you ask your friends. So word of mouth is also important. So you have can have a pretty good idea of the quality before you start to purchase the service. The experience quality, you cannot experience the quality of the service before you purchase it. Only after you know what's going to be the result, and if the quality of the experience was or was not satisfactory. So let's talk about the other one, the other way that it's hard to evaluate is the credence. So it's very hard to assess, even if we are talking about even after the purchase itself, and if you don't have the necessary knowledge about the service that was provided. So I'm gonna give a brief example of the experience with a moving company. So in the search, you go online, you check the reviews, you check the comments, and you say you pretty much have a good idea of if they are trustworthy or not. And you can have a pretty good idea. Now, the experience, you only know after they finish moving your stuff. By the way, you cannot stop them during the move if the quality is not what you expected. It's very unlikely that you're going to just stop and say, stop everything, put the furniture down, go home. I don't want to use this service anymore. Very, very unlikely. So only after they have broken a couple of chairs and tables, and you are in your new place, is that you are going to be able to assess the experience. And as about credits, even after the move, you're going to be able to say to even say, well, is this the way a normal moving company operates? Like, is it normal that they break a few items of the furniture? So those are the three differences. Now, as I said, besides intangibility, you have inseparability. So you must be present before or during the consumption of a service. You cannot separate production from consumption. So let's think about our university or schools in general. You must be attending the class while the class itself is being produced, to have the true experience of the quality of education. And there's an intersparsity because services normally cannot be produced in a separate location from where they are consumed. In our case here, yes, I'm producing content at home, and you're going to be consuming that in your own home. So a couple of things change, and a couple of definitions. There are, of course, always exceptions to the rule. Heterogeneity. Now, that's another variable that has to do a lot with people, with the professionals or the employees that who provide the service. It's very hard to standardize because, again, it depends on people. Mary, this employee, can provide a service at this level, good service, but perhaps Alice, her colleague, cannot provide exactly the same service. In most cases, cannot. Companies can try to train their staff and try to get more of a consistency and reliability in the delivery of the service, but they are not, the services will not be the same. Even with a pretty good training programs, training manuals, it's not going to be the same. And it's interesting to me that I wasn't born in the US. Most countries, let's talk about a very important service, delivering a child, delivering a baby. In most countries, your OBGYN, your obstetrician, gynecologist, the one you choose will be with you all the way during pregnancy and will deliver the baby, help you deliver the baby, of course. In the US, I think in most cases, what I heard is that you have your OBGYN that will not necessarily be present at the moment you deliver the baby. Could be anybody, any doctor that is in the clinic when you arrive, when the time comes. So to me, that's quite an interesting characteristic of this specific services. Next one is perishability. In other words, you cannot store services. You cannot, let's say you're thinking about, you have an appointment with your dentist, he's waiting for you or she's waiting for you, and you don't show up. So the dentist cannot say, oh, okay, I have free time now, so I'm gonna store this 1 hour so that I can use later to another client. He or she cannot do that. So that's why many professionals in the service that offers services, they will charge you if you don't show up for an appointment, because that 1 hour it's lost forever. So let's see, yeah, let's do a quick check here in terms of concept. Let's see this case. Melissa prefers to do her weekly grocery shopping at Haley's Market, where the produce is consistently fresh and great weekly specials help her manage her budget. And when it's time to check out, she automatically looks for her favorite cashier, Evie. She's always friendly, positive, she's fast, and that helps Melissa save time. So what would be the characteristic of services in this case? You see, the product side, grocery stores are a type of service, as mostly retails, but the quality may not be different from other grocery stores, but she goes there. And Melissa is the cashier that, or better, Melissa looks for Evie, who is the cashier. So what's that service provided by Evie? It's an example of what? Correct answer is C, heterogeneity. And the reason is that every important offers a different quality in service they provide. So she's friendly, she has a good attitude, she's fast. Now, the same customer, Melissa, could have a different experience in the same grocery store with another cashier, and she could get upset and take her business elsewhere. Or let's say it's always dependent what that individual customer wants. Maybe another customer finds Evie too cold, very businesslike. She doesn't do small talk. And these other customers could be Mary. Mary doesn't like Evie, and she might find another employee at this Haley's Market more pleasant to do business with. Moving on, let's now approach service quality. So service quality, these are the components of service quality. Reliability, so that's the ability of a service to provide dependable, accurate, and consistent levels of service. Responsiveness, which is the ability to not waste time for the customer. Assurance, that it's the perception that employees or the professionals at this particular service convey trust, appear to be knowledgeable, and are pleasant to do business with. Empathy is about putting oneself in the place of the customer. So, have this attitude or capability to really know how the other feels. Finally, quality has also to do with what's called tangibles. So tangibles is the physical, that's a good concept. That's the physical evidence that is provided as, let's say, a reminder that some service was provided. So let's analyze each of them, just give quick examples. So let's talk about reliability. So reliability, as I say, it's about consistency. So we can say that McDonald's provides a high level of reliability. You go to a McDonald's, you pretty much know what you are going to find. Now, let's talk about a place here in Tampa. It's a sort of, it is an Italian restaurant called Ava or Ava. They do pizza, but they are not consistent. Half of the time, they burn the dough, which is sin. But it's also the places or this Ava restaurants, they differ. So if you come here at Ava in Howard, yeah, that's the place that they burn the dough half of the time. If you go to Ava in the other place they have, which is more of a less of a restaurant, more of a fast food place, they are much more consistent in the way they prepare their pizza. Responsiveness, yeah, I think again McDonald's is a good example. Well, the name is fast food for a reason, so responsiveness is usually quite good. So assurance, yeah, assurance is about the knowledge and courtesy and the ability, as I said, to convey trust. So, but I would give as an example Publix. The emphasis in Publix about the way, the courtesy and the knowledge of their employees, they put a great emphasis on that. I'm going to talk about Publix a little later on. Empathy, American Express is pretty much, that's the example that comes to my mind. I had an experience where I had wanted to move from a platinum card to a less expensive one, to gold, and they were really, they didn't try to convince me to stay with platinum. They didn't try to sell the benefits of platinum. They said, okay, let me see. You use your card a lot for grocery stores and restaurants, and you know what? Gold is a better option. So I think this empathy is it's not about feelings. It's about finding what the individual need of each customer is. Finding the tangibles. I have to go back and talk about McDonald's. The Happy Meal toys is something that kids take as an evidence of the service provided. The food goes away, you consume and it's gone. But yes, the Happy Meal toys are forever. I think another experience that like the cruise business. I mean, you travel, you see the places, the cruise ship is nice, but again, once you leave the ship, it's the experience is gone. And there are photos. Their staff they take many photos of you, and these tangibles you can go back and buy a photo for $50. It's perhaps not the most pleasant evidence of the what you got during a cruise. Let's move on. So what we're going to talk about now is the gaps. Okay, so what are the problems in terms of service quality? First gap is what the customers want and what managers think the customer wants. So let's say, again, talking about fast food restaurant, and the management thinks that, you know, they are there for the food and they don't put emphasis on almost anything else. But what the customers want is they want a clean place to eat their fast food. That's first gap. Second gap would be what the manager thinks customers want and the quality specifications that the manager develops. So let's give another example. Yeah, the customers want a clean environment. The management is aware of that, and they say, yeah, my environment is pretty clean. We mop the floor every night. Okay, so yeah, customer wants clean, they mop the floor every night. And that brings us to gap 3, the quality specifications and the service this is actually provided. So the customer wants clean, but he wants to be really clean, and perhaps every hour they expect the tables to be clean and sanitized. And but what the as I said, what the management does is, you know, mopping the floor, and that could be worse because the management says we're going to mop the floor every night, but in fact, it's what they do is they mop the floor every Tuesday night, which is not the same. So specifications and what is done in reality. Gap 4, what company provides and what the customer is told he provides. As an example, let's say this burger joint says, you know, this is the best burger you're gonna get here in Tampa, and you know, you try it doesn't even make top 50. And so that's the example of the gap. And gap 5 is the gap, it's a favorable gap. It doesn't have to be necessarily bad. So the service that customers receive and the service they want. And sometimes you're surprised first time you go because, you know, we heard, you know, best Five Guys was considered the best burger in Tampa for 10 consecutive years. And you go there and you're surprised. Yeah, you know what? The peanuts are great and the peanuts are free. So, you know, that's a favorable gap between service offered versus what the customers expected. So yeah, another knowledge check. So we say Carol is the VP of customer service for her employee business. And she really likes the work that her, yeah, it's Evie. It's Evie. Yeah. So Evie is pretty good. She likes the work of Evie. She always gets great annual reviews. And what the customers say about her, she's knowledgeable, very friendly, very responsive. So what would you think this is the type of, what's the component of the quality of services that Evie demonstrate? Is the, what's your answer? So that's assurance. So the key word is knowledgeable, and assurance is about how knowledgeable your employees that work in a service have. Now, as we've seen so far, the employees are a major success factor for services. So there is a role, or there is a function that needs to be taken care of, which is the internal marketing of service businesses. So the more satisfied employees are with the company they work for, the more likely they are to do a great job in providing service. They are the brand. They are the brand ambassadors. They are the brand representatives. So the cashier at Publix is Publix. He or she represents the brand. So internal marketing is about thinking about employees as customers and having programs that can offer satisfaction. So companies have been trying to provide, let's say, added benefits, not only the salary and some basic benefits, but others go a long way to give, additional benefits or perks. So to talk about employee or internal marketing, we're going to talk about Publix, which offers us a great example. So this is beginning. This is Mr. George, the founder of Publix. And this was his philosophy since the very beginning. He wanted his stores to be, what he says, food palaces. And his emphasis was to treat customers like royalty. So we're talking about services. It's not only about the products they offer, but how the employees in Publix treat their customers. This comes straight from Publix documents, internal documents. So that's an internal marketing document in which they, among other things, emphasize the need to dedicate dignity, value. It's not customer value, it's employee value to, and what translates to security for the associates. They know that the happier employees are, the better the level of service they will provide to their customers. One of the things they do, Publix actually has stock award program for the employees, in which pretty much what happens is that the better the business goes, the more benefits for the employee. And this is the result. See, these are according to Consumer Reports, the best grocery stores in the South. So number 1 is Wegmans, Trader Joe's, number 2, and Publix, number 3. Things they win, the 3 of them have in common, it is that store cleanliness, which depends on the work that is done by the employees, how good they are at cleaning, but also the courtesy of the staff, which means the happier they are, the more they are likely to be to do a good job toward treating the consumers or their customers. Employees in publics are expected to greet everyone with an individual message. They cannot, there is not a mantra that they say, good morning, welcome to Publix, but they are expected to know the customers and have a different message. And that is really hard, and a complaint that some trainees that have been in Publix express. You see that the quality is different, but not always different. Like Publix, Wegmans has a very good food in stores, but Publix are the best subs, especially the chicken sub, best in the US. So it says. Now that performance is related to the satisfaction of employees. Now, this is a research with employees of different grocery stores and Publix. This employee net promoter score measures based on the following question: how likely would you recommend working at Publix? Meaning, the more, it's not how happy you are. Like if you're really happy, you would consider recommending the business as a place to work. So Publix is number one, ahead of Target, Walmart, etc. So, and that correlates with the results Publix have. Publix is a fast growing company, opening a lot of stores now in many states. Now, yeah, we're coming to the end of our class. This is your assignment. You're gonna email me telling about a memorable service provided to you as a customer. Memorable could be good or bad. So explain which component they failed or they impressed you. Reliability, was that a problem of responsiveness? Was a problem of assurance or empathy? Okay, so could be good, could be bad, and I will be waiting for your emails until October 5th. Okay, so this brings our class to an end. And if you have any questions, please send me a message. And I hope you have enjoyed this class. You consider it a good service.